Well, aloha. Aloha, this is Jamel, Boukabou at Team G'day, and I'm with Dr Joel Wallach.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been great to hear your message. All the things that are at 76 years old, awarded at the United Nations, book in the Smithsonian. Just saying happy to have you here.
Well, it's beginning. Now we're going to have great relations with Australia, right? We're going to have New Zealand, that whole Pacific area. Very excited about that.
Have a wonderful day. Team G'day.
Cheers, everybody.
G'day.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jamel Boukabou. I'm a two-star executive with Youngevity International. Thank you very, very much. Dr. Wallach, week number 36. And we have Francesco moderating today on the chat box. So please have your chat box open. If you have questions to ask Dr. Wallach, please follow those prompts and we will get to you in Q&A after some very important words from Dr. Wallach. Of course, most of us know who Dr. Wallach is. He is the founder of Youngevity. He has a book in the Smithsonian. He speaks at the UN, recently spoke at the Tesla event, nominated for a Nobel Prize in medicine. I can go on and on and on. And I'd like to thank Dr. Wallach and welcome once again to week number 36, where everybody's welcome to be on the call. G'day, Doc. How are you going?
Okay, good day, Jamal and your team. Appreciate all the good things you do, and thank you for the kind words. And we have lots to discuss today. First of all, you guys have been looking at the longevity of different countries and things, and the average lifespan or the life expectancy of an Australian, which is you guys, is 83 years old. The average lifespan and the life expectancy of the average New Zealander is 82. Now, let's compare that with the USA, which is we're like 75. So you beat us there. And let's look at the Philippines. Their average lifespan, their life expectancy is 71. And Vietnam is 76, about like the USA. Now, let's look at some interesting longevity stuff here. Supercentenarians are people who lived beyond 110. They're called supercentenarians. The oldest ones that actually died in 1997, she was from France, Jean Calment. She was 122 years old, documented, and a very interesting lady. And then we have supercentenarians now alive by the dozens in every country. Most people don't know about that. But the oldest living documented person now, human being right now, is Kane Tanaka from Japan. She's 118 years of age. Okay. The next one is a French nun. Okay. Her given name was Lucille Randon. She became a nun some years ago, obviously, and let's see, her name is Sister Andre as a nun. When she was 116 years of age, she got the COVID virus and her caregivers died, but she lived. That was kind of interesting. She's 117 years of age now. And she's from the Pyrenees Mountains, where they have all these mineral springs. Lourdes of France are very famous hot mineral springs and so forth in France. And then let's see here. We have the blue zones, which were documented by Dan Buettner, I think a 2005 cover article in the National, it'll come to me what magazine it's in, I apologize. The National Geographic, I know it was National Geographic, okay. And he believed that there's 5 countries in the blue zone which have the highest percentage of their population are 100-year-olds and 110-year-olds. And the interesting thing about these 5 blue zones is that they're all small places. Okinawa in Japan is one, okay. And then in Central America, there's one in Costa Rica called the Nicoyan Peninsula. And then there's the volcanic islands off of Italy and the volcanic islands off of Greece. So there's 4 of the 5 blue zones. The 5th one is in Loma Linda, California. It's a religious group by the name of the Seventh-day Adventist. and they're very, very big on avoiding the bad foods, and they're very, very, very big on supplementation. The other 4 countries in the blue zones aren't really big on supplementation, but they live on algae and seaweed because they're surrounded by the ocean. So they're getting lots of great trace minerals for their bone marrow and their immune systems. And in his article in National Geographic, and he's an exercise buff, and everybody respects him internationally for exercise and that kind of stuff. But he said the reason why these people live so long is they're happy. No, they're happy because they live so long. He had it backwards. But the reason why they all live long is they're getting all these trace minerals from the volcanic eruptions. And of course, in the Loma Linda Seventh-day Adventists, they're big, big, big on avoiding the bad stuff and big, big, big on supplementing properly. Now, let's go back a little bit and look at the number of cases of dead and infections between the Philippines and the Vietnamese. They both have about the same population. The Philippines, they just went, let's see, they have 100 million people. They have 100 million people, and they just went over 1 million infections a couple of days ago. I've been saying it's coming. Sure enough, a couple of days ago, they were over 1 million, so 1,080,000 infections and 18,000 dead. Vietnam with 97 million people, just almost the same population as the Philippines. They have 3,000 cases versus 1 million in the Philippines, and they have 35 dead versus 18,000 dead in the Philippines. What's the difference? Well, the Vietnamese stayed very, very hardcore with the Asian diet: rice, beans, sweet potatoes, squash, and seaweed. The Philippines, because they have so many military bases from Europe, we're talking about Spain and England and the United States. I spent a lot of time when I was in the Air Force in the Philippines, and their restaurants and their hotels cater to the Western diets, because there's so many people there in the military as well as tourists and stuff. And so they're getting a lot of gluten. And so that's why they're having a hard time when it comes to the number of dead, the number of infections. Gluten, and it really damages the villi in your small intestine, so you cannot efficiently absorb nutrition. And most people around the world aren't really big on supplementing. Now let's look at the USA, okay, versus India. India had the worst time during the Spanish flu in 1918. They had 20 million people die in 6 months. Okay, they had 110 million people get infections in 6 months in India back then. We had 657,000 people die in 2 years in the Spanish flu. Right now, we've got in the USA, let's see here, we're at 33,378,050 infections, and we're at 594,162 dead. I think in a couple of days we'll be over 600,000 dead. Now, India right now, okay, has just passed 22 million infections, and they have 238,000 dead, okay, from this coronavirus thing. And it's one of those things, they're going up in infections between 360,000 to 500,000 new infections every day. So every 3 days they're hitting 1 million new infections. So I figure within a month they're going to pass us, because we have slowed down a little bit, and their cases are spiking and going up very rapidly. They're saying that there's one of these variants from India, which is much more infectious than even the UK variant, and the South African variant, and the variant from California. And so that's why that's happening. No, it's happening because they're not big on supplementation. And they're northern states. They have 29 states. I don't know, most people don't know that. They have 29 states in India. Their northern 9 states were occupied by the English for 100 years, from World War I to World War II. And they were teaching them to be soldiers and fight because they're part of the Commonwealth. So they were fighting for England against the Nazis and all the bad guys in World War I and World War II. But they got used to eating gluten, wheat, bread, rye oats, okay, in the 9 northern states. So 95% of the deaths in India occur in the 9 northern states. Only 5% occur in the southern states, which still live like Asians, and they live on rice and sweet potatoes and seaweed. And when it comes to numbers of dead, the Indians are going up at a rate of 3,000 per day, new dead. Okay, and right now there's about 240,000 dead. We're just short of 600,000 dead. And so it's gonna be one of those things where I think they're gonna surpass us in a month or so. They will surpass us in the number of dead, and they will surpass us in the number of infections. And it's all diet, 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 diet. Let's look at another one of my favorite comparisons, and that is Brazil and Nigeria. They both have about 208 million people, okay? And the Brazilians have 13 million infections. The Nigerians have 163,000 infections. The Brazilians have 331,000 dead, and the Nigerians have 2,000 dead. So why this huge difference between infections and dead in Brazil versus Nigeria? They have the same population, 208 million. Well, the Nigerians are 98% Black tribal Africans. Now, most people would say, well, Black people have the highest rate of deaths. And so why are they so low? Well, that's because they live on the west coast of Africa, and they live like Asians. They live on rice and sweet potatoes and squash and seaweed and that kind of stuff. Whereas Brazilians are 47% people who are, immigrated there from Europe, say 400 years ago, and they're eating wheat, brown, rye, and oats like the Europeans. Okay, so it's a dietary thing, not a racial thing. And then let's look at Florida, one of our states, a Sunshine State. They have about the same population as Taiwan, an Asian nation, about 22 million each. And Taiwan has 10 dead. Florida has, let's see here, 35,000 dead. Taiwan has 1,000 infections, and Florida has 2.2 million infections. So what's the difference? Well, Florida, if you look at them county by county, they have 40, 50, 60% Hispanics, Blacks, and Native Americans, kind of like your Polynesians kind of thing, the indigenous peoples, and they're living on wheat, butter, rye, and oats. Where in Taiwan, they live like Asians, and they live on rice and sweet potatoes, beans, squash, and seaweed. And I could go on and on and on. I have lots of these comparisons, but it always comes out the same. And I've had people call me up and say, well, I didn't believe that, Wallach, and then I looked it up, and you were right. And I'll give you one more here. Between the Navajo Indians in Arizona, the Ojibwe Indians in the Great Lakes area in northern Minnesota, they both have about the same population, about 350,000 people in their large communities. Okay, 350,000, not million, but 350,000. Okay, in the reservations. And the Ojibwe Indians have 0 dead and 27 infections. The Navajo Indians have 1,200 dead and 30,000 infections. What a huge difference in numbers. So why is that? Well, the Navajo Indians, since 1865, have been eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats because the Scottish fought their way through the Navajo Nation without having to fire a shot by giving them wheat and showing them how to grow wheat and dry it and save it for the wintertime. The Ojibways began eating the wild rice and algae from the Great Lakes 400 years ago. They've been living like Asians. So they're both Native American tribes. They're both indigenous peoples. But one is eating like an Asian, eating the rice and algae from the Great Lakes, and the other one is eating like the Scottish, okay, in the UK. And so that's why there's a huge difference in numbers of deaths and infections. And so if everybody gets rid of the bad stuff, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rye, and oats, no sugar, maximize absorption, take the 90 essential nutrients. Right now with this pandemic, I like to use the big hammer, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, throw in the MSM, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. That's going to help maintain the bone marrow cavity, which is your immune system, and make white blood cells to go kill and eat the viruses, to make antibodies to go kill the viruses, and red blood cells and platelets. Even if you get the vaccination, you don't. You really, really need to be taking the supplements and avoid the bad foods. And vaccinations won't work if your bone marrow is not working, because vaccinations do not kill viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. They just alert your body to the bad DNA and RNA in them. So when the bugs come, your bone marrow will send out the white blood cells and antibodies to go kill and eat the viruses. But if you're not absorbing nutrients because you're eating gluten and your intestines are dead, and you're not supplementing, your intestines are dead, then the vaccines aren't going to work. You say, oh, well, the variants in India and Brazil and South Africa are so infectious, and they don't respond, to the vaccinations. Okay, well, that's because guess what? They're not. These are people who don't supplement, and these are people who still eat gluten, wheat, brown, rye, and oats. So it has nothing to do with the vaccination, not eyeing the bad variants. No, bad variants are bad variants because these people are not absorbing nutrition. They're not supplementing with nutrition, and that's why we have all this problem. Now, I've been gluten-free and taking the 90 essential nutrients, Jamal, twice a day for 73 years. I'm 82 years old, and most people can't believe I'm 82 years old, okay, because I don't look like 82. I don't have any pre-existing conditions. I don't have obesity. I don't have diabetes or high blood pressure or heart disease or kidney failure. I'm not on dialysis. I don't have anything going on with my lungs. I don't have lupus. I don't have any of this stuff. I don't have arthritis. I don't have irritable bowel syndrome. I don't have any of this stuff. That's because I've been eating properly for 73 years, no bad foods, and supplementing with the 90 essential nutrients. I figured it out when I was 9 years old. That's when I got involved. And that's why I have so many papers I've written over the years in scientific journals and things like that. As you point out, my thesis for 20,000 autopsies, one project, it was a $25 million NIH project. My thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute because they show there are no genetically transmitted diseases, there are no genetically transmitted birth defects. And when you look at, I'll give you one more crazy thing. You've heard of all these gender issues. There's people who are they'll have sex with boys or girls. There are people who are asexual. Whether they're a boy or girl, they're not interested in sex with anybody. And then there's people who are girls, but they just have to demand to be a boy. And then there's boys who are boys, but they're demanding they want to be a girl, and so on. There's gay men and there's lesbian women. All these things are happening, and everybody says it's their choice. No, it's not. You go back into the old Bible, and it was such prevalent stuff with all these gender issues in the old Bible. There's places in the old Bible which says all the people were saying things like, look, boys have to wear boys' clothes and girls have to wear girls' clothes. And have you ever heard of Joan of Arc? One of the greatest warriors in history. And now in the US, they're putting up a whole big branch of Marines that are women, okay, because of these gender issues. The part of the brain which tells you who to chase for sex is called the hypothalamus. And if it's underdeveloped, if you're missing something there, whether it's the Bible days or today, or what country you're in, doesn't matter. If you're missing something and you get an underdeveloped hypothalamus, you can have the equipment between your legs to be a boy and you'll chase boys, or might not chase anybody. Or if you have the equipment between your legs, you're a girl, you might chase girls or you might not chase anybody. Okay. It's just one of those things where you have to pay attention. You have to take the supplements if you're in the childbearing years. And people say to me, well, I don't plan on getting pregnant. Yeah, everybody says that, right? Then you go out for dinner and you have too many glasses of wine, you come home and you relax and you guys go to it and you wind up getting pregnant and you don't know it. And so 2 months later, you've missed 2 periods. You go to the pharmacy and you get one of the self-tests. Oh, I'm pregnant. And the baby already has a problem because you've gone 2 months without the supplements for the embryo. So this is really serious stuff. And so thank you for letting me spend time on that, because this is a whole thing that messes up society and causes problems, which is totally for just pennies a day avoidable. So thank you, Jamal. Thank you, team. And we're ready to go and begin to answer some questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. And type your questions in the chat box. I do have questions lined up, and it's always good to have people in person because Doc asks a few more questions. I just need to mention Youngevity is a direct selling company. If you're just listening in today and you want to know more, please contact the person that referred this Zoom call, the recording to you. Everybody's welcome to use this recording. It's uploaded to the New Zealand official Facebook page. I've got to thank Francesco. He's in Melbourne today moderating. Mike couldn't make today. Francesco is a member of Team G'day, but it doesn't matter what team you're from. Doesn't matter if you are just listening in. You are welcome to let us know what team you're from if you are calling in. And I'm making this call today from Port Macquarie, which is the mid-north coast of Australia. I've got a gig to go to. That's why I'm wearing this funny shirt, because I am a singer. But I just wanted to underscore that that's what we do. We've all got different jobs and it's all about time management. But my priority is hosting this call every week. And this is week number 36. So we're well over the half-year mark. I just wanted to mention also when Dr. Wallach was talking about, and I actually had the pleasure of seeing Dr. Wallach do this lecture on nutrients during pregnancy. And this is something that a lot of the people in the world haven't heard of yet. We've heard of the basic ones, but we've got Dr. Wallach to thank for folic acid being added to infant formula, prenatal formula all over the world. He's the guy, Dr. Wallach is the man that has successfully challenged the FDA for the rights of all of us. And you can't patent a mineral or a vitamin. So Dr. Wallach's been doing this for many years on behalf of really the whole health industry, natural health industry. One of the products in the Healthy Start Pack is the EFAs. And this is a question I'm asked a lot, Dr. Wallach. I know the answer to it, but we do have the man on the call today. I don't understand about olive oil. Isn't it really good for your heart? And I'll say what I understand. And Doc, if you want to fill us in on the other details, olive oil is dangerous when it oxidizes, which means when it comes into contact with air. Correct, Doc?
Yeah, and of course, if you pick an olive off the tree and you eat it, that's a good way to get olive oil. But when you have olive oil in a bottle or some kind of container and it's sitting at room temperature or it's in the refrigerator and you take it out, okay, you mix it in salad dressing and stuff like that, or maybe even heat it up a little bit for cooking, it oxidizes, turns into trans fats, heterocyclamines, acrylamides, which are extremely harsh inflammatory materials and actually can cause cancer. So you can, a gun can be a very useful protective weapon, but can also be dangerous and kill yourself. And so same way is true with olive oil. So what we did, we came out with two different types of omega-3 oils. One comes from seeds, that's our EFAs. The other one comes from, let's see here. The other one comes from fish livers, okay? That's EFA pluses. And so what we do is we extract them from their original source, fresh, in a room that you have to wear scuba gear because we're talking a nitrate atmosphere, so it won't oxidize. And we flush out the soft gel capsules of the nitrogen before we put the oil in there, and then seal it up. And then we flush out the bottles before we put these soft gel capsules in the bottle, and then seal it before it leaves this nitrogen-filled room, okay? And so we don't get any oxidation of these things. As a result, we protect them because they are required by every cell wall of every type of cell in your body for your cell walls to do their job. And also, these things prevent all kinds of connective tissue diseases, including skin diseases, like eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea. And if you're eating gluten, you cannot absorb these essential fatty acids from the intestine. And so you wind up getting all this eczema and dermatitis and psoriasis. You wind up getting celiac disease and ulcerative colitis and that kind of stuff. And it damages your intestines, so you're not efficient absorbing. And if you're not supplementing, you really have a problem. So that's why we came up with a Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. It's our big hammer in the toolbox. And then we have all these secret sauces for over 600 different diseases. And I've been doing all this, again, for 73 years. And as a result, I'm very proud that I don't have any pre-existing conditions. I've had a lot of injuries because I visit heavy construction sites all over the world. But other than that, I don't have any, obesity and diabetes and intestinal problems and skin problems and heart problems and kidney problems and lung problems, brain. I don't have that stuff. And so everybody can do the same thing. I don't care if you've been on kidney dialysis 6 days a week for 10 years because you haven't urinated in 10 years. We can get you urinating in 2 weeks. And we'll get you off your dialysis in 2 or 4 more weeks. Even if you haven't, urinated in 10 years, because these things are not genetic diseases, they're not autoimmune diseases. They are in fact just simple nutritional deficiency diseases. And that's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as National Treasure. That's why I'm considered one of the two founders, along with Bruce Lipton, as one of the co-founders of the science of epigenetics, which has replaced genetics. Okay. And so people are in control. And it's kind of like saying, well, I'm, not really interested in all the details of the car thing here. And, putting oil in the car is messy and costs money. So I'm just going to put some dirt from Queensland, say Australia, okay, because there's some oil rigs there. And I'll just put some dirt, or maybe from Texas or Oklahoma, United States. There's bound to be some oil in those dirts. Well, no. And an insane person would do that to their car. When a doctor says, oh, just eat well, don't waste your money on vitamins, minerals, just eat well. People, my doctor says I can just eat well and get everything I need. That doctor should be put in jail as a serial killer. CEREAL and also SERIAL, both cereals, right? And so these details are extremely important. You go to a restaurant and you see these salad dressings sitting on the table. And what I like to do is put a mark on the table where that salad dressing's at. Okay, and go back there a week later and see if they've moved it. Because if it's been sitting out at room temperature in that restaurant for a week, that salad dressing will kill you sure as a bullet to the head. Because it's trans fats, amines, and acrylamides, it's oxidized and turned into very dangerous chemicals. Causes cancer, inflammation, plaque in your arteries. It's not cholesterol that puts plaque in your artery, it's these oxidized oils that put plaque in your arteries. So there you go.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. And we have a lot of questions. I've got emails and texts. Please put your question in the chat box if you're on the call today, and we'll get to you. If you are listening to this call and you do need to contact the office, I'm an independent distributor. I'm not a doctor. So that's what's so special about this call. So the distributors are here to help the customers and the other people that want to know how this business works. It works as a direct selling company. So we have what we call an upline, and that's kind of the back end stuff, how we earn the income, because we don't sell the products in stores. To know more about that, you can call the New Zealand head office if you're in Australia or New Zealand on 1-800-756-467. If you're in the USA or Canada or Mexico, you can call the USA office on 1-800-982-3189 to get any of Dr. Wallach's books or CDs. It's sold well over 500 million copies of Dead Doctors Don't Lie, the audio version. I like to get the CD with the Q&A. That's part of my business building protocol. You can contact, well, if you're in the States, you can go directly to drjwallach.com. If you're in Australia, you need to go to drjwallach.com, select the products that you want to buy, then call the number on the website during business hours in California. So we're going to go to Q&A now. Please have your questions in the chat box. First question, Doc, is Gary from Kempsey in New South Wales in Australia.
Okay.
He's 55. He's emailed in a question. He's a truck driver, 6 feet, 230 pounds. Says he can become a bit dizzy and poor circulation after driving for a period of time. He's just started on the Healthy Start Pack and off the bad foods, but not for long. What should he be doing, Dr. Wallach? What should he be taking? Okay,
well, the odds are at age, let's see here, at age 55, you say?
Yes.
The odds are he has osteoporosis of the skull. That's why he's dizzy, because the skull will squeeze the vestibular branch of the eighth cranial nerve and cause dizziness or balance issues. Also, can also cause ringing in the ears as a result of squeezing the auditory branch of the eighth cranial nerve. You can get irregular heart rate or atrial fibrillation or fast heart rate or slow heart rate if the 10th cranial nerve is being squeezed by the skull when you get osteoporosis. And one of the scariest ones, you get a squeezing of the second cranial nerve, which is the optic nerve, and you can go blind. Okay. And so all of these are preventable, all of these are reversible. So the first thing this Gary needs to do is get rid of all the bad foods. And again, he's probably doing most of this because you've been working with him, but this is for the rest of the listeners here also. Needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rhinos, and no sugar. And then I'd have him at 230 pounds, take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. That's our big hammer in the toolbox. You can take a full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to get 2 bottles a month because I think he does have osteoporosis of the skull, probably has it everywhere else in his body too. I want him to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 with each meal, and they will support and promote maintenance and repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself. And that's going to help him with the balance issues, okay, as well as vision stuff, and also his knees and hips and back and shoulders and wrists and trigger fingers and hammer toes and all that kind of stuff goes away. And 6 foot tall, he may be 20, 30 pounds overweight, or if he's weightlifting and, you know, lifting boxes and unloading and stuff like that, it may be all muscle. Okay. So let's see here. The circulation, I'd throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. You can take 3 of those 3 times a day. It'll be 3 bottles a month. They will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries, and also significantly reduce the risk of blood clots and that kind of thing. Significantly reduce the risk of ruptured aneurysms in the brain and the aorta and pulmonary artery. So this guy, and I deal with truckers a lot, okay, and because they make great Youngevity associates and distributors, because they're traveling all over the place, and they could take some of the CDs, you know, that you like, and take them with them and go to a truck stop and eat and talk to truckers and, you know, say, hey, here's my card, here's my a CD here. I'd like to work with you because you're all over the place. You're going to help people every time you go to a truck stop when I'm not with you. And you help other truckers and help people who are unloading and loading and all that kind of stuff. And so truckers are really great to be involved in the Youngevity business.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. I just have myself on mute. We're going to go to Naj. If you want to unmute yourself there, Naj, and you can ask Dr. Wallach a question. Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. I just wanted to ask you something.
Okay.
I have a few health problems. It's an underactive thyroid.
Okay.
And my husband and I, we've been trying for a while to have a boy, but we've only had 4 girls. He's a lucky man, my husband.
Yeah, a whole house full of women. That's a good thing.
Yeah. He doesn't regret his girls. He loves his girl very much, but he just wanted, or also myself, we wanted to have a boy, but there must be something missing that we're
Okay. Well, how much do you weigh?
about 75
kilos, 75 kilos.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you're looking about 160 pounds maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then do you have any other issues? Any high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, kidney problems, skin problems, bowel problems?
None that I know of. No.
Okay. Do you have any gray or white hair?
I have 1 or 2, not a lot.
Okay.
I guess from my father.
Okay. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs and feet?
I have a lot of spider veins, yes. And
Okay.
that's genetic.
Okay, and it's not genetic. These are actually caused by a deficiency of a particular nutrient. The same deficiency causes white gray and silver hair, causes spider veins, varicose veins, hemorrhoids, also causes ruptured aneurysms, causes vitiligo, loss of skin color. Okay, that kind of stuff. So what I want you to do let's see here, we said maybe 160 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. And your husband also has to get rid of all the bad foods. And
Yes,
he
he
needs
has.
to be taken, okay, and he needs to take the 90 essential nutrients himself, 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. You need to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. And I would do that, both of you do that for 6 months before you go for another pregnancy. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I want him also to take our Zera test. He can take 3 of those twice a day. And you need to take the Zerafem, take 3 of those twice a day. And I can hear all these girls in the background. Sounds like they're playing checkers or something.
They're playing in the car, yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, but I would be taking the supplements. He needs to take them. You need to take them, say, for 4, 5, 6 months before you go for another pregnancy. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
And
much.
good. Well, you're very welcome. God bless you, and thank you for all the good things you do. And hugs and love to your whole family. Okay.
Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Jamel, back to you.
Thank you, Naj, and thank you, Dr. Wallach. These calls are recorded. They're on the Facebook New Zealand page. It usually takes about a day or so for myself and the team to upload it, because we like to put the minutes in as well, so you can go directly to your part on the video. You can download it, share it. Please put your questions in the chat box. It's the easiest way for me to look at them, but you can send them to me privately if you like. And if you do send me a private message and you don't want to say your name, you can just let me know, and I'll ask Dr. Wallach a question on your behalf. And we always get to as many questions as we can. I've got a question here from Sarah from Darwin. She's 29. She used to do a lot of athletics, running, track and field. She is an expecting mother. And she also, at 29, has sore ankles and knees, those kinds of things. She's just heard about Youngevity and Dr. Wallach, so I'm not sure if she's on the products yet. She's 29. She hasn't given her weight or her height, but what should she be taking, Dr. Wallach, for her best?
Hey, did she say how far along she is in her pregnancy?
I'm assuming it's fairly recent. It's from an associate of mine. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, she needs to be getting rid of all the bad foods, okay, and live like an Asian, live on rice and beans and sweet potatoes and fish and beef and lamb chops and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens. She can have sweet potatoes, but no wheat, brought around oats. She cannot live like somebody from the UK. She's got to live like somebody from Asia, okay? So she can absorb all these nutrients. And then per 100 pounds, let's just go by per 100 pounds of body weight, I'd have her take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. I'd have her also take since she has all this stuff going on with her knees and her ankles and feet and stuff, she has osteoporosis, she's got arthritis, and it's not an aging thing, it's just she's nutritionally deficient. And so again, she'll begin to absorb things when she gets rid of all the bad foods, because they damage the intestines. Intestines will heal in, say, anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 weeks. So she's really got to jump on this hard because she's pregnant already. And then I would have her take the, let's see here, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I want her to take 3 of those twice. She has 2 bottles a month, so she can get the blood flowing more efficiently to the embryo, and blood flowing more efficiently to her kidneys and her heart and her lungs and her legs and so forth. I also want her to take our glucogel. She can take 5 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And they're the raw materials to help the body rebuild connective tissue, again, in the cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, skin, arteries, veins. Very important here. And it wouldn't hurt for her to take the Fucoid Z, 3 of those twice a day. The Fucoid Z is seaweed. And this is where the Asians really, really do well, because they get all these weird trace minerals from the ocean and the seaweed, which their bone marrow loves. And the bone marrow is your defense system, is your immune system. So particularly, again, with this COVID pandemic thing, we want her and the baby to be well. So she needs to do the Fucoid Z, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds body weight.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. We've got Carolyn. Let us know where you're from, Carolyn, and unmute yourself and you can speak to Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Carolyn.
Hello, Carolyn. We'll see if you can unmute yourself. Her question was, she's 94 kilos. If you can, there you go, Carolyn.
That's me trying to work, silly thing.
Okay, 94 kilo, you're 200 something pounds, okay?
Yeah, need to lose weight, I know that.
Okay, how old are you?
69.
Okay, and how tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, so you're a tall basketball player, girl, okay. All right, so what kind of health challenges do you have we need to talk about?
Well, I had breast cancer and chemo and radiation about 18 months ago.
Okay.
And I was I thought fairly healthy. And I thought, oh, I'll breeze through this. But look, it's 18 months later and I was just still feel like rubbish. I have trouble breathing, which I've never had before. And they say that's probably the chemo or the radiation. And I'm very allergic. I have always been sort of allergic, itchy, and my eyes sting and water and all that sort of thing. Just miserable.
Okay. Okay.
And tired.
Okay. Stop. Okay. Stop. Okay. Do you work outside the home?
We have a farm. We're
Okay.
supposed to be retired.
Okay. And let's see here. You say you're 69 years old? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rhinos, no sugar. Those are the things got you in trouble and got you breast cancer. So you need to stay away from them. You can't
Right.
have one cheat meal a month, nothing. And then at 200 pounds, 5'10", I'd like to see you weigh 160, 170, you need to lose 40, 50 pounds. I want you to have one meal a month or a keto meal. It could be, I think, our bars. You take one, it doesn't have to be the same meal every day, but you could have one keto meal. It could be breakfast for 3 days. It could the week. It could be 2 days of the week. It could be lunch, and 2 days of the week it could be dinner time or whatever, however you want to do it. And then after a month or so of doing that, you can go to say 2 meals a day for 3 days a week. Okay, don't do 2 meals a day every day because you won't like it. Okay, it's too clumsy to do that. But you have to eat like an Asian for the rest of the meals. Okay, we're talking about rice and beans and squash and seaweed and that kind of stuff. So, okay, now we're going to support your immune system. I'm going to start you out with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. And that's going to support your immune system, okay, to help you challenge and fight this cancer, as well as give you raw materials. It has 210 nutrients in it. Okay, it's going to help you really give your body what it needs to maintain itself and improve your immune system, defend off the bad guys, the bugs and viruses and all that kind of stuff. I also want you to take our MSM. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. There's 1 bottle a month. Again, it's going to support and promote maintenance, repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, which is your immune system, your bone marrow, okay, where you make white blood cells and antibodies to go kill viruses and bacteria and cancer cells and that kind of stuff, okay? And I would also throw in our Fucoid Z. Our Fucoid Z, again, is a seaweed. You want to take 3 of those twice a day. It'll be 2 bottles a month. And let's go there. Do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
High blood pressure.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to have diabetes, but I have this really weird thing that my brothers have it too.
Okay, well, it's not genetic. It's not a genetic thing.
No. We're perfectly all right, and then just get hungry, like just go from being perfectly all right to ravenously hungry and shaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is called reactive hypoglycemia, and so what you want to do again is take 2 bottles a month of our sweeties and take 3 of those capsules twice a day, and that will, if you're pre-diabetic or have reactive hypoglycemia, or narcolepsy, which is being tired all the time, you'll be able to deal with that. And also we have a rebound or sports drink. It comes in canisters, I think, out there in Australia. And so it has 100 nutrients in it. Most of the other sports drinks and energy drinks in the market have 2 or 3 nutrients. Ours has 100, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins and amino acids. And so that will help you energy-wise for you and your husband both. And so, if this is going to give you a good start, then, give us, a call every 2 weeks. You can call every day if you need to, but don't wait longer than 2 weeks because you're going to have a great testimony. People your age, middle age, have all these issues, and people don't know what to do. And they go to doctors and say, well, this is a genetic thing. You're 69 years old. You got to expect these things to happen. They're caused by age,
put me on statins and that. And
you need to get off of the statins. You need to get off of the statins.
I'm off that. And then they gave me some other tablet to like calm me down, and I took it for a while, but I couldn't take it. The only thing I'm taking from the doctors now are the high blood pressure things, but I'm sort of feeling worse, not better.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, basically what's going to happen with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, after about, say, a month on those, try cutting your high blood pressure medication by, say, 10%.
Mm.
Okay, and just keep checking your blood pressure. Make sure it doesn't spike or anything. As long as it's staying good or maybe even dropping, you can reduce it, every couple of weeks by 10%. You might want to take 4 or 5 or 6 months to wean off of the high blood pressure medication. Do not cold turkey off of it. Okay.
Mm.
And then, give us a
Yeah,
call
well,
because there's a lot of people who middle-aged have all these same problems you've got. And don't
yeah,
forget the
they gave,
the keto caramel bar, 1 meal a day. And it doesn't have to be the same meal. And that's going to help you lose that half a pound to 2 pounds a day.
yeah, they gave me, they want me to take, there was a thing called a Arimidex to stop me producing hormones because the breast cancer I had supposed to react strongly to hormones, but the Arimidex just made all my bones hurt. So then they changed me to another one. I can't think of the name of that. And then that put my blood pressure up. So then they changed me to another one called tamoxifen, which...
Okay, well, you need to go to a different group of doctors. These guys are not doing you a good job here. So it wouldn't hurt to go to the other end of the country or go to a different hospital or something, because these guys, they keep, well, we'll try this. Oh, that's killing you. So let's stop that and let's try this. Oh, that's killing you. Let's go over here. No, that doesn't sound good to me. Okay.
No.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. And you can also call back a few weeks later and you can give us an update as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm new to all this, so I'll just go back to the lady that gave me the information to join this call.
Yes.
And she, well, I can't remember what.
And she'll walk you through this and help you get the program.
Help me get the right stuff. Yeah.
That's correct. Yep. All the distributors earn income when people buy a product. So never, if you're a customer, never worry about calling the person that referred you, because that's how we earn our money. And also, if you're just a customer, you don't need to know how the business works. All you need to do is call the office, listen to Dr. Wallach.
I don't know why I've just lost my sound's very quiet as well.
Oh, no worries. So all you need to do is call the office, place your order. If you're a preferred customer, you get wholesale prices, and you ask your upline or your referrer about any product questions. There's also helplines too with corporate as well. There we go. Francesco is holding up the Zero test at the moment, and you can see that worldwide. In the States, we can get that in in Australia via New Zealand on your auto ship. It is one of the products I add to my monthly order with my Healthy Start Pack. I'm basically taking the bone and joint pack with the Zero test. Here we go. Francesco's got the niacin there. We spoke about niacin the other day as well. That is a wonderful product, and it's a very buzzword at the moment in the health industry, niacin. Just before we go to the next question, Doc, could we just have a quick couple of words about the Ultimate Niacin Plus, which we can get in Australia? Yes.
Yeah, of course, niacin is an essential nutrient. It's one of the B vitamins. A deficiency of niacin causes pellagra, okay, which causes all kinds of brain issues and all kinds of weird behavior and stuff. But also, it causes blood vessel problems. So niacin dilates arteries, so you get better blood flow, and can actually stop all kinds of pain wherever you have pain, because of arteries being blocked in your heart and brain and eyes and that kind of stuff. Also, it'll make your kidneys work better. People who are on dialysis, we like to give the one of our niacin plus twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. We like them, of course, to get the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, which also support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And they have to stay away from statin drugs. Cholesterol does not cause plaque in your arteries. Cholesterol does not cause blockage in your arteries. It's oils, olive oil, coconut oil, sesame seed oil, corn oil, every kind of oil you can think of causes plaque in the arteries, not ours, because we extract it from a source in a nitrogen-filled atmosphere, and we package it in nitrogen so they don't oxidize, so we protect the customer.
Yeah, also on the Youngevity EFA, which is essential fatty acids bottles, you can see we've got the top independent certification for the sourcing of the product as well, which you can see on the label. Another important thing to note too, if you are a distributor, to know this, is that Youngevity's products, it's not only the correct cofactors, which is something that I've learned a bit about over the years for the main nutrient to work that Dr. Wallach may be talking about. Dr. Wallach adds the cofactors, and the sourcing of the supplements are about as good as you can get anywhere. So they're two very, very important things. The reason why Dr. Wallach does say secret sauce and things like that, because people used to rush out and get that one ingredient at the cheapest possible price they could get, and they come back and say, Doc, didn't work. Well, you need to take the whole protocol, and this is where we come into play, because I have the time to pick the phone up as Carolyn's sponsor. We'll be having a chat with her, going over all the extra information too. So I do want to thank all the callers that have been on the calls so far, because it's made this really work. And I want to thank the other distributors from the other groups for doing the follow-up as well, because it's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how this whole thing works. You know, Dr. Wallach only has a certain amount of time, and we are lucky enough to have him for 1 hour. And I can't believe this has been going for 36 weeks. And then we do all the follow-up. So, you know, one of the benefits with the COVID lockdown is that we can talk to Dr. Wallach every single week. I never would have thought that would have happened. But you're all welcome to add your questions in. I've got 1 or 2 to go. If you do have a good news story, please let us know in the chat box, because we like to finish on that. I am going to go to, I've got these are questions that have been sent to me. Matthew, he's from Sydney. He's 5'9". He's 160 pounds. He's 35 and he has asthma. What should his protocol be, Dr. Wallach?
Okay. You see, he's 5'9", 160 pounds. I apologize, I didn't catch his age.
35.
35, yeah. Okay, well, asthma, if it's really asthma, it's caused by a deficiency of a couple of nutrients, okay? And so he's got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bar rhinos, no sugar. And 160 pounds, I'd have him take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. And he's going to get, so he can take significant amounts of a dozen of the different products in this package. And don't say, well, there's so many here, I'll just take 1 a day and it'll last me a year. No, don't do that. You take the dosage properly and the asthma goes away in weeks. I don't care if you've had it for years. Asthma is a nutritional deficiency disease. It's not autoimmune. It's not part of lupus or anything like that. It is a simple nutritional deficiency disease, but you have to be able to absorb it. So you got to get rid of the gluten, make sure your intestines are healed. So when you take your nutrients, you can absorb these nutrients and you'll be amazed. Asthma, bronchitis, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things like hiccups. All of these are caused by nutritional deficiencies and squeezing of nerves and things. And so don't forget to throw in the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month, so you can absorb these nutrients. He also wants to be sure to take, wouldn't hurt to take the Ultimate Niacin Plus, take 1 of those twice a day, that's 2 bottles a month. The de-stress capsules, take 3 of those twice a day, that's 2 bottles a month. And lastly, I'd throw the Fucoid Z in, 3 of those twice a day, that's the algae from the ocean, that's 2 bottles a month. And this asthma stuff will go away. Okay, I deal with professional athletes, Olympic athletes all the time, who many of them had asthma. And we came up, of course, with our sports drink Rebound. We came up with the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. We came up with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And all these secret sauces that deal with these individual problems. And so the Olympic athletes, the professional athletes, the university athletes really are grateful that they have access to these products. There's so many professional athletes and Olympic athletes who have died, very famous ones. That's because they weren't taking our program. They were just eating well, because their coaches would say, just eat well, don't waste your money on bottoms and middle, just eat well. And these are the ones who die. You must take these supplements, especially if you're exercising, because you sweat out nutrients. That's why your sweat tastes like salt, because your sweat is not just water. Your sweat is salt water plus the other nutrients floating around in your blood.
That's why we got the Rebound. There you go.
That's why, there you go.
Get the
You got it, brother.
That's one of my auto. I put a Rebound on my auto ship about once every 2 months. There we go. And then you can get the cans in the States. I just had an associate that ordered a whole crate of those Rebound cans, but in Australia we can get them in canisters. Probably got time for one more question. I want to thank
Okay.
everyone once again for participating. John from Brisbane, he's got an Alsation, which is a German Shepherd. 4 years, it's got slight hip displacement, it's 80 pounds.
80 pounds?
80 pounds, and which would be about 40 kilos. But yeah, what should he be giving his dog, Dr. Wallach?
Oh, it's a dog. I thought it was him.
Dog. Oh,
Okay. It's a dog. Okay. Okay. His dog at 80 pounds, he needs 4 scoops of our Arthrodex. Okay.
Yep.
He also needs, I'd go ahead and give that dog also some of the MSM. He could take, at 80 pounds, I'd have him take 3 of those a day, the tablets of MSM. That'll help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, cartilage and stuff like that on the hips and the knees and the back and the disc between the vertebrae and all that kind of stuff. And let's go there. Don't forget the EFAs. He needs EFAs. I'd have him take our EFAs. You can go ahead and take 2 of those. So a bottle's going to last him 2 months. EFAs. And this joint problems in dogs and cats and horses and wombats and emus and stuff like that, kangaroos, wallabies, it all goes away.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. I remember you saying everything with the vertebrate needs those 90 essential nutrients. And,
that's correct.
We all get those in the
Every vertebrate. Yep.
Which is the foundation for good health. I want to thank everybody once again. Most of all, Dr. Wallach. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, bring your friends on. We want to hear from your follow-ups as well. You all can unmute yourself. Thank you again to Francesco. Mike will be back next week. And you can all unmute yourselves right now and say goodbye. Until next week.
Bye, Dr. Wallach.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.